Okay, welcome to Tiny Boat Living Adventure. I'm doing a video with slides of my Holiday Mansion galley transformation. That's the old countertop there. In hindsight, I wish I'd have left these here because my galley is a bit more sparse. And I wish I had more countertop area to do prepping and set appliances on, but it is what it is. So here I've removed all of the drawers, doors, and that little dorm refrigerator, which basically is useless if you live on a boat. Plus the one that was on this boat was broken. So here I've got the sink out, and you can see underneath there the water heater, which is a good place for the water heater if you use the galley. But since I'm moving everything, I wanted the refrigerator in the corner over there, so I decided to relocate the heater underneath another cabinet so I could put my refrigerator right there where the heater's at. So now the counters are all removed. That lovely pink carpet is still underneath there, so I got to remove that and disconnect the water heater. Okay, these are the plumbing connections to the heater, and there's the power plug that plugs into the outlet. Let me tell you a few things about these heaters, folks. A little bit of advice. This is a 1994. This is the original water heater from this boat. It's a 6-gallon, which isn't a lot, but I guess if you just need a little bit of hot water, it's great. But what I found on mine, when it finally failed and I was going to upgrade, I removed this thing and I drained it, and it was full of about 3 or 4 inches of brown sludge. So over 30 years of collecting water and filtering water and heating it, the water just was nasty. So my advice to you would be, if you have an older water heater, flush that thing out because it's contaminating your hot water with weird, nasty sludge. But at this point, you might as well just replace it. So here are the water lines and the drain pipe from the galley sink that is gravity fed to the outfitting on the side of your boat. Here I'm in the process of moving all that plumbing and putting it in the cabinet behind where the galley is, in that compartment where the macerating out pump is at. That opening behind it is the closet door to the cuddy. Here it is back in that little closet area with the plumbing all set up and ready to be connected to my new galley sink. I used PEX for part of this because I couldn't find that gray water line anywhere. So my Magic Chef refrigerator shows up. This is not a marine refrigerator. It works on 110 volts. But I wanted it because it had a bottom freezer, and it's smaller than a conventional fridge. I'm 6'3", so I didn't want to be bending over into the refrigerator. So this one's on top. I don't have any pics of what I put on the half wall behind the galley here, but I basically used beadboard and painted it black, and it's behind the galley so you don't even see it. Here's the fridge and the cabinet ready to install. So I'm one of those guys who does kind of a, hey, let's buy some plywood and see what happens. This is a quality piece of plywood, but I wanted to use it for the countertop. I basically cut it out to size. I rounded off the front right corner where you walk through, and then cut out for the sink. To the countertop, I also added a wooden piece of trim on the back and left sides. I put a baker's rack underneath the right side of the counter there to support it, and also will hold my microwave and my Ninja stove and other supplies down in the bottom. You can see the black beadboard behind the baker's rack there. I thought it was important to have a rounded off corner there so if you're walking through, the boat's rocking, you don't get jabbed by the edge of the counter. I like using the aluminum trim. It's just basic aluminum stock when I use some grommet style stainless steel screws for the edges to keep it in place. I also glued it and sealed the inside edge. This acts as a lip for the countertop so any liquids are contained if there's any movement with the boat. And by the way, I used a food safe black paint for the top of the counter. I could have done so many different things with this, but I wanted just a basic galley to get started with. Yes, this is a floating man cave, and this is a very basic setup, and this is exactly how I wanted it. I did end up boosting the right side bookshelf so I had easier access to the bottom set of shelves. So it's ended up being a very useful area, not a giant galley. I didn't want a big giant galley. I wanted a living area back here, so I had to kind of make the galley smaller. Been very functional and a setup that I have learned from. Hey, we need you to subscribe, like, and share with your friends. Thanks for watching. Hope you learned something.